Cleveland Browns are in the playoffs. They're playing hot football right now, and they've got a really good matchup, really, as far as playoff matchups are going or concerned. But it gets even better than that as you continue to pull back the layers of what the Browns really have in front of them as they go into the playoffs. If you're new to the channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. Browns, of course, being one of those teams. That's really the theme of this video, and we'll get into that in here in just a second. We're Detroit Lions fans, so we like the Browns. Very similar franchises, same kind of path over the last 20 years, and now here they are both playing really, really well. So again, a lot of good things on the surface. We all get that, playoffs. But if you look a little bit deeper, it's pretty remarkable what's going on and what they've got going. So this article I thought was just perfect. The Browns are really, really good, and we football experts owe them an apology. Cleveland has a favorite to win Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and they have the best strange story from the NFL this season. Absolutely. They check every box. So the Browns are really good. They've got a Coach of the Year candidate in Stefanski. They've got the Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. They've got this weird Joe Flacco story. But here's the best part. They fought through a ton of injuries. They lost their starting quarterback again. High levels of skepticism just coming into this. It's just like AFC North. Like, what are the Browns going to do, right? Okay, yep. A dreaded playoff history. Get that. Being a Lions fan, it's like you can't get to the playoffs. You can't win in the playoffs. You don't even worry about, like, you just have this. No one takes you seriously is basically what it is. Here they are in the playoffs. They've got recent postseason history and ridicule that sometimes come from its own fan base. 100%, right? You're so used to losing that you don't know what to do other than just kind of like make fun of yourself. Like the fans do. The real fans know, man, hey, we got something or we don't. But then there's like that half or like a third of the fans that are just, they don't really know football and they just want to make fun of the Browns or make fun of the Lions. They've overcome it all, right? It's crazy. So it's not just that they're in the playoffs, but that they continue to find ways to overcome, and it only makes them good for this year, but even as they keep on winning and going into next year, and this franchise continues to just build on itself. So here's where it is. The Browns are so good, in fact, they've now sparked another round of NFL postseason seeding debate. Happens every year around this time. So it's like, okay, Cleveland's 11 victories match the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City for the second most in the AFC, yet they didn't win the division. So, of course, they're at the wild card position, but they're right up there with the Bills. I mean, the Bills are a team that's like Bills, Kansas City, right? Ravens. Everybody was looking at these teams coming into the season, Cincinnati. And yet here are the Browns continuing to play well and into the playoffs with second most victories in the AFC, which was just this daunting conference, and it is. And the best part is you had to have a quarterback in the AFC. We'll pause here for just a second. You had to have a quarterback in the AFC to do anything. In the NFC, you have more of team stuff, right? So the Lions are a perfect example. You've got Goff, you've got a running game, you've got weapons. Lions are playing really well, able to use all that stuff. In the AFC, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Joe Burrow. It's Trevor Lawrence. You got to have a star quarterback or just forget about it. Browns are like, nope. Our quarterback A wasn't playing that well to begin with. Then he gets hurt. And then he's kind of in, kind of out. Are you in? Are you out? What are you doing? Are you healthy? Are you not? That was like a 4-game stretch of that crap. And they're like, fine. We're going to go with Joe Flacco. He's 38. And he's just like, we play the game well. We play the game right. We play the game right. And here are the Browns now looking like they're just like, what is going on? So let's take another look at this here. Their 2023 draft class, a bevy of bodies, but no picks earlier than 74 in the third round. Those who picked the Browns to make the playoffs almost cited the strength of their defensive line, but cornerback depth remained an issue, as did the Watson situation, as did losing Jadeveon Clowney, right? It's just like, well, you don't have that. You don't have a draft pick. Cleveland just keeps winning. They won after offensive tackle Jack Conklin went out. They won after Nick Chubb, gone. Watson, gone. Rodney McLeod, who's supposed to be this veteran safety, gone. Michael Woods. But look at the list. Maurice Hurst was supposed to be this really nice little pickup. He's a Michigan guy that really good, just a little depth. He's gone. He battled injuries. What a great pickup gone. Look at all of those injuries. So it's interesting, and this article just continues to go on. We'll go back to it in a second about how, man, Browns. It's not. That's the whole point of it. It's not that they're winning and that they're in the playoffs. That's great. We all get that. It's what happens next year when all those guys come back. What happens next year when this culture continues to build? The trajectory is there. It's they have put themselves in that Baltimore Ravens, Steelers, like they can play toe to toe, year in and year out type of thing. And as Browns and Lions fans, that's all we've ever wanted, was to be relevant year in and year out, play meaningful games late into the season. That's it, right? Instead of being 1-7, 8 games in, and you're just like, oh, man, what do we do? You're playing, you're there, you're able to find late game heroics. You're in the games. Not only are you in it just like playoff races, but you're in games every week. You're winning when you shouldn't. You're upsetting teams. You're staying. All of that stuff is what Lions and Browns fans have always wanted. Now the Browns are doing it. The Lions are doing it. So let me know if you'd love to see a Lions Browns Super Bowl. It's not that crazy, really, because they're both in the playoffs and they're both Lions are 12-5, Browns 11 wins. So they didn't sneak in. I mean, this is two really good teams that could find their way there. But I just love how both the Lions and the Browns have a culture now that is able to withstand anything that comes their way. And I love it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. The article was right. Owe an apology to the Browns. We don't owe an apology to the Browns because we were all over them starting back last summer, where we're like, man, the Browns are going to be good. I think they're going to be good. Now, didn't see it going anywhere like this. If you would have told me last summer, these are all the injuries, I would have said, oh, well, then they have 5 wins. But instead, the Browns were able to win 11 wins and get into the playoffs. So if you're new to the channel, again, we make videos for teams overlooked by the national media. And we're Detroit Lions fans too. So lately, we've been doing a lot of Browns videos on this channel just because we're so excited about what they've been able to do. Really cool stories. Joe Flacco throwing for over 300 yards the last 4 games, sat last week, but they still gave him his $75,000 because he gets that for every game that he plays. Just really cool stories, really cool storylines from the Browns, and really the way that they've matched the Lions as they've continued to work towards the playoffs and what's going on there. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments about Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit. Lions fans, we don't know what to think about it. People say they do, they don't. Because you're like, man, love you, man. Love you. You were great here, but really it's over. It's done. Goff is our guy now. Let us know from an outsider's perspective how we should be feeling on that. And we'll see all of you on the next one.